Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Tim. Tim is from New York City in the USA. So let's see what Tim has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello Tim, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank
Of
you.
of course. It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you.
So tell me, how's your day going so far?
My day is going great. So it's currently 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. here in Brooklyn, New York. So I just ran a few errands before coming on here. I went outside, did a few things, groceries, walk, got me a matcha latte, and then got home and I'm just ready. I'm going out later. So I'm just going to do this interview and then chill before I go out later.
What has been the highlight of your week so far?
The highlight of my week will have to be that. So where I live in Brooklyn, I live right next to the Verrazano Bridge. So it has water, it's beautiful, it has a promenade. And the highlight for me this week was every single day after work. I always go for walks, but every single day after work this week, I went out to the promenade and I watched the sunset and I walked along just seeing the sunset. And it was just so, I was like, yo, I really need to do this more often because I live like 3 minutes is literally my backyard. And the highlight for me was definitely doing that every single day. Like go for
Wow.
walks will definitely center you and really just bring a lot to you, and yeah, yeah.
I love that. Sometimes we live in a place that sometimes we don't see the beauty around, you know what I mean? Like explore a little bit more, see with different eyes, do more often something, and there's
Absolutely.
always a beauty. Wow. Like,
Absolutely.
well, so you actually, I've been in New York City once, and I remember around this place where you live right now, and I remember
Mhm.
crossing the bridge, going to New York. I mean, the other side of the city, and I
Right,
remember the view. I remember everything about around this area where you live now. It's
right.
beautiful. Lucky you.
Yeah. It is beautiful. And I love what you said. Sometimes we really, because we're so busy with life, we
Yeah.
forget to really just see the beauty around us. And for me, honestly, my highlight for this week was doing that. And I will be incorporating that more. Maybe I'm gonna walk more.
Yeah.
It was truly beautiful.
And New York City is the place where you're born and raised.
So I was born in East Orange, New Jersey. I was
Okay.
born in New Jersey, and so a little bit of a background. My mom is Jamaican, and my dad is Haitian. So I have lived a very cultured life. So I went to elementary school in Jamaica,
Oh
and then I
wow.
went to high school and college in London.
Really? Oh my
And
God.
I moved back to New York about like 8 years ago, 8, 9 years ago.
How
Yeah.
long you were in London for?
I was in London for quite some time. I was actually out there um 3 weeks ago, a month ago. I went out there for like a week. So it was really good to come back and reconnect.
My God, that's amazing. Wow. And where
Yeah.
were you based in London when you're living here?
Camden. I was living in Camden.
Oh my God, such a great, vibrant area.
I believe that's on the northern line, right?
Yes, it is Northern
Uh,
Line. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
I used to live around that side. Yeah. Kentish Town. That's it.
I see. I see. And tell me, what do you do for work, for living, Tim?
So full time, I work as a events coordinator. So I work in events and production. But outside of that, creatively, I am a model and a stylist.
Wow. Actually, I was watching, seeing some videos on TikTok, and I was like, my goodness, he's for sure he's involved in the artist side for sure.
Thank you.
So
Yeah,
tell
I'm an artist. I'm an artist at heart. I'm a creative at heart. I love everything creative and I love expressing myself. So yeah, I love that.
so walk me through a little bit more about your career in production.
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
Walk me through a little bit more about your career, how everything started
Within fashion or
in your full-time job.
in my full-time job as an
Yeah,
events coordinator. So
yeah,
I've been working in this job now just for a little over a year. So
right.
basically my job as an events coordinator is that I work with the client to basically execute the client's vision. by basically solidifying logistics. So it could be a gala, it could be so we don't do like weddings or parties. We do more stuff with brands. So we could do like staff retreats or corporate retreats, professional development, um, receptions, galas for these organizations or big corporations. So I would really just sit with the client, kind of like go through what the client wants, kind of like brainstorm what it is that they're trying to do, how do they want their attendees to feel? How do you want your event to look like? Why do you want to do this event? And basically just creating an amazing experience for everybody that comes in there. And so far so good. It's been a great venture. It's another way to be creative, but in a different way. So far so good. I'm enjoying it. And I love the challenge, and I just love seeing how happy the clients are when we finish the event and once it's finished. So it's great work.
Absolutely. And tell me a little bit more as well about your career in modeling as an artist.
Right. So I said model and stylist, but also I'm such a multifaceted person, but my main thing is actually music. I'm actually a singer and a songwriter. So that's
Wow.
how it all started out for me. And I started out in church, and I've been doing that pretty much all my life. But William, I'll be honest, like right now where I am in my creativity, I have given music a break. So I'm able to explore other creative ventures, and that's how I grow as an artist. So I'm realizing, being a multifaceted person, different gifts are prominent in different seasons of your life, right? So right now, in the season that I'm in, I am doing a lot of modeling and styling. Do I miss music? Absolutely. Am I a robot? Absolutely not. I can't do it all at one time. So I
So true.
I do believe I will come back to music, but I'm really enjoying this season of really being creative and expressing my art in a different form. So it's been great, and I'm loving every part of the journey, loving every part of it. So
Totally, I get your point. I think this, when you're an artist, there are always seasons. Yeah, there are seasons that you can explore this way, other
yeah,
seasons just come with the flow and just how you feel as well about it.
for sure, for sure. And you just have to take each day one step at a time. But I think for me, what I'm realizing in this season, I'm just making sure that God is leading me, and God is really letting me know what gift I'm supposed to be using in this particular season of my life. And it's such a humbling experience. So yeah.
Amazing. Team, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views? Amazing. Welcome
Yes.
to William in the Magic Box.
Yes. Come on. Let's
So, my best friend. One of fun questions, okay? I'm just gonna play a song this first to relax before the first question, okay?
Okay.
Let's do it. Okay, so during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to answer, you don't want to talk about, always can change, okay?
Okay. How many questions?
It depends. So,
Oh, no worries, no worries, no worries.
yeah, 6, 7 questions more or less.
Okay.
Okay, first question for you is, what is the worst first date have you ever been on?
The worst, I've not had a bad day.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've not had a bad day.
So tell me, dating in New York City. Tell me, how do you find it? Do you find easily? Do you find that, big cities, there's always people looking for, this openness about it? How do you feel about dating life in New York City?
I think dating in New York City is extremely hard, simply because it's such a huge city and everybody in New York City is beautiful. So people feel like they have options. So it's like people are always looking for the next best thing. So I just think in this city, what I'm realizing in my experience living in the city is just constantly being true to yourself and staying authentic. And once you have that foundation, then the right person will come along.
Wow. And one person to go on a date with you, what this person must have?
For a person to go on a date with me, what must they have? They must
Yeah,
have,
what?
they must have substance and intention.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, two things that really stand out for me is substance and intention.
Amazing. Next
Yeah.
question. Let's do it. Amazing. Next question is, what makes you feel discouraged?
When I don't feel seen
Mhm.
and when I don't feel heard.
Tell me about it. An experience that you had. How did you get to this mindset? Opinion.
Of being discouraged?
Yeah.
That's a very good question, William. um, okay, so back in one of my old jobs, I was a student life director, right? And with being with that position, I had to direct and produce a showcase for the school that I was working for. So it was a Black History show.
Mhm.
And obviously, with that Black History show, we are obviously expressing and taking the audience on a journey of what Black history looked like and what Black history looks like now. So obviously, with back in the day, with the history of Black history, with slavery and the slave masters, with slaves and everything like that. So that part of that part of our history was being portrayed in this particular showcase. So the management of the school came and saw the production the day before the show. And then they brought me into the office to basically tell me that I have to change the majority of the show because what they saw, they weren't happy about. And in that moment, I didn't feel heard or I didn't feel seen simply because these kids have worked so hard to put on such amazing work. And this was not something that I made up. This was something that actually is factual. So it was a very hard meeting. I had to really stand my ground and be radical and be like, listen, creativity isn't just created to make people happy. It's going to make people uncomfortable. It's going to make people be thought provoked. It's going to make people think. It's going to make people reflect. It's going to make people cry. And this is not something that I just woke up and be like, oh, this is what it's going to be. This is actually factual. So I think in that moment, I didn't feel seen. I didn't feel heard. My students didn't feel seen. My students didn't feel heard. So with that experience, it did make me feel discouraged. However, I told the students that, listen, we have to follow protocol. We have to follow the authority. So as artists, that can be very challenging, even though you really want to express and you really want to create something that is factual. Sometimes we may have to kind of like alter the story a little bit. And that was really hard, but just to see how the kids really was open and they pivot and it still was an amazing show. We didn't really change too much. We just changed a little teeny bit, but then it was well received. It was well received. So that was long, but I just wanted to just tell you. So
I love that. I'm so glad you shared that. The other day I had an artist here on the show and he said something that made me think as well. He said the arts, it's not just about, as you said, not just about, glamours and beautiful and things. Art is about make you think about something that was out of your normal days.
yeah,
Think about take you in a place where you've never been before. So it's all about that thought-provoking, something that's gonna make you uncomfortable. That's art. That's when you know what I mean? It makes so sense what you said. And sometimes people they're not ready for that yet.
they're not. Art makes you feel. Art makes you heal. Art
Yeah,
makes you think. Art makes you cry. Art
totally.
makes you happy. Art makes you joyful. Art is so open. However, that human being feels in the moment when they hear that art or see that art, that is powerful. I felt discouraged, but what encouraged me was how professional the students were when we changed it. And that really encouraged me and lifted me. And I was like, you know what? These students have such beautiful souls, that they have such a bright future ahead of them. And for them to really take on that information and really pivot was really just such a beautiful thing to see. And that encouraged me. That made me feel seen and that made me feel heard.
Amazing. Cool. Next question. Let's do it. Before the next question, tell me how music came into your life.
How
Music came into your life.
music. Okay. How music came into my life was in my family. My family are music lovers. Okay, so I feel like there's a difference between being musically inclined and being music lovers. So my family, I come from a family of music lovers. So being Jamaican and Haitian, that's two strong, rich Caribbean cultures with amazing sounds. So
Mhm.
being from a product from being Jamaican and Haitian, music was always around me. All different kinds of music, like just always just fused within me. Like I listened to it every single day. And that's how it came into my life. And then obviously growing up in church, that had a very huge part to play with my gift in music. And it's just always been a part of me. It's what I breathe, it's what I live. I just love music. I have a tattoo on my arm right here. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the same music's my heartbeat. I love music.
Which person in your family you feel more connected with or more close to at the moment?
My mother.
Okay. So let's see that she's watched this interview right now and you have a moment and an opportunity to send her a message. What would you say? She's watching.
Oh my God, you're gonna make me cry.
Oh,
I admire you so much, and I admire your strength. I admire your vulnerability. I admire your beauty. I admire your love for humanity, and I admire your faith in God. And I am because you are. And I love you so much.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Next question is, what is one thing you can't live without?
I'm not going to overthink it. The first thing that came to mind was tea. I love tea. I loved herbal tea. Anything that is a tea, give it to me.
That after leaving London or not? Before you already had this?
Oh, from I was a kid, I've always been a tea person. But right now, one of my favorite teas right now is actually, and I actually got it from London. My friend brought it over, and one of my other friends is coming over in like a few weeks, and I told him to bring it. It's Twinings.
Yes.
Twinings, but the loose leaf Twinings Earl Grey.
Oh, wow.
That with oat milk, with a little bit of oat milk. Oh my gosh. Yo, that is the best drink on earth right now for me. That's all I drink. Like Earl Grey with some oat milk. If you want to put a little bit of sweetener, just put a little teeny bit of agave. Good to go.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Earl Grey tea. There is some you're talking about now. I can smell it. I can smell the
Me too. Just
Yeah.
the aroma. I feel like that lavender just gives it a really good, you know what I'm saying? Like, just so good.
with milk, always with milk. A splash.
Milk, yeah. But oat milk, good to go.
Next question. Next question for you is, what's the best advice have you ever given to someone?
The best advice that I've given to someone. I actually said this yesterday. I had an interview not an interview. I was a speaker at a creative artist conference, and they really took this advice really well. And I said, you will continue to be hidden if you don't want to be seen.
Tell me a little bit about this phrase. Why is that?
Because fear is something that is very crippling, right? Fear can hold you back, and fear can tell you so much lies. And as an artist, you want to be seen, you want to be heard. I feel like this keeps coming up. And if you do not want to be seen or if you do not want to be heard, you will continue to be hidden. And I feel like with a lot of us artists, because of fear, we hide ourselves and sometimes subconsciously hide ourselves, right? Because of fear. But fear is false evidence appearing real. It's not real. You can't be a man or a woman of faith and also be a person of fear. So you have to feel the fear and do it anyway. So in order to be seen, you got to feel the fear and do it anyway.
Being an artist in New York City, do you think that, it's a place with a lot of opportunities that, you can feel like there's always something that you can go for it, there is always opportunity, or sometimes you feel like it's difficult to be an artist in New York City through your experience? What do you think about it?
I think once you have the drive, I think once you believe in yourself, it's worth it. It will be hard. It will be hard, but because you have the drive and because you believe in yourself, you're going to make things happen. New York City is an amazing place for artists to come, and there's so many different things to do. There's so many different things to explore. So again, once you have the drive and you believe in yourself, you're going to come out here and you're going to make it. And making it, your version of making it may not be another person's version of making it. But the fact that you are here and that you're doing something that you love is making it.
Absolutely. Great. Next question. Let's do it. Before the next one, I was checking back to your videos. I could see the one you shared, the experience you had dancing Madison Square, the show that you were dancing there. You did you participate as well. So tell me a little bit about that experience.
Yes, so I was a part of the creative and styling team for Burna Boy.
Right.
And he had his show at the Madison Square Gardens. He was actually the first Afrobeats artist to sell out the Madison Square Garden at Madison Square Gardens. So that opportunity was so amazing. So I got the phone call from a friend to be a part of this amazing opportunity. And I was working with the brand Telfar because they were the ones that actually sourced the clothes for the production team. So just for context, I didn't style Burna Boy himself, but I styled the whole production team. So the dancers, the singers, the choir, everybody, right? And it was such an amazing experience. So the choreographer of the show, she's from London. And again, being an artist and being multifaceted, I do have a background in dance because I went to a performing arts school. So I haven't danced in a really long time. So I was literally doing my job, styling, and the choreographer said to me, she's like, I want you to dance. So I said, excuse me? And she was like, yeah, I want you to dance. You have a very tall statue and I just want you to be yourself. Just go out there. The music's going to be playing. Bear in mind, this is a whole production. So this is like a band of over 20 people, like horns, drums, like a whole shebang. So I was like, all right, cool. So I was like, what am I going to wear? She was like, you're the stylist. Figure it out. So I was just like, all right, cool. So literally, because as artists, we can be overthinkers, right? So I was just like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? So I was like, let me listen to the music and try make some movements and stuff. But I said, you know what? I'm not gonna overthink it. I'm just gonna go out there. There was like thousands of people. So I was literally like, okay, I'm just gonna go out there. Whatever I hear, however my body feels in the moment, just express that. Oh my God, William. So Burna Boy came off the stage and they started playing like a boom, 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 like an African kind of like boom, 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 boom. And the adrenaline that I felt and the energy that was all over my body, I was like, let's go. And it was such an electrifying experience. Like I came off that stage and I could not stop shaking. It took me like an hour to come back down. Like it was so electrifying. I felt free. I felt liberated. I felt I felt strong. I felt powerful. It was such an amazing experience. I will never forget it.
Wow, great. Next question is, share with us a crazy or funny story that happened to you when you were a child at school. Look your face, look your face.
Okay, so this was actually in Jamaica. So my school, we took a trip to Dunn's River Falls, and it's a popular resort. Well, not a resort. It's a popular landmark in Jamaica where they have waterfalls. So the waterfalls then connects to the beach and the ocean. So this was a school trip that I went on, and I had purple shorts on. So me and my friends in the class, we went underneath the waterfall. Everybody was laughing at me, but I wasn't sure why they were laughing. When I looked out to the distance, those were my purple shorts floating.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I had to go and get my shorts.
Did you have underwear underneath? Did you have
Huh?
underwear? You were wearing underneath underwear or not?
But the good thing is that I stayed under the water and I just went to get it. So I wasn't fully exposed.
I see.
Fully exposed. But that was a very funny and embarrassing story.
Did you like school growing up?
I loved school growing up. My mom was very adamant that I didn't come to school here in this country. So a part of my life, I went to elementary school, as I said earlier, in Jamaica, and most amazing experience. The schooling in the Caribbean is chef's kiss. Amazing. I will never forget it. It's made me the person that I am today.
Amazing. 3 questions left. Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, next question is, when have you been the most happy?
When I'm being myself. When I'm being myself.
And what's the biggest joy of being Tim? What do you like the most about being you?
That everybody leaves different. Everybody leaves different from the way that they met me. Does that make sense?
It does, absolutely.
Yeah. Everybody that encounters me always leaves different from yeah.
You come across, Tim, a very approachable person, a person that people, they tend to, talk their secrets or talk to you, or when they want to have a good time, they just come to you. Am I right? Do you have this personality?
You're right.
And you always been this way?
I have. I've always been this way. Always been this way. And I feel like as I'm growing older and maturing, it's becoming more deeper. And I'm thinking that I know it's a gift. And even though it's a gift, I also have to protect it.
That's so true.
I have to protect it. So that's what I'm realizing now in this season of my life. But you're correct. And I appreciate you for saying that. Thank you.
And how do you do to protect that?
How you protect it, there's something that's called discernment. And by having discernment, you're able to know who you're supposed to let in and who not to let.
Good point.
Yeah.
I think, we just know it somehow, our intuition, our body.
People call it your gut. People call it your intuition. People call it the spirit. People call it different things, but trust it.
Absolutely. Cool. 2 questions left. Let's do it. It's so brave to be dancing in front of a professional dancer just here now.
No, not professional. Not professional.
Before the next question, tell me 3 people that, you always be inspired by. Could be in music, could be, dancing. 3 people that for you, you always had admiration for them for any reason in the artist side.
Marvin Gaye.
Okay.
Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Marley.
Okay. So one day you wake up and you have 3 missed calls. One for the first one, you had Marvin Gaye, yeah, the first one. The other one from Michael Jackson and Bob Marley. So you have 3 missed calls. Which one you call back straight away? Which one you send a message saying, okay, I'll call you later? And the third one, you go like, okay, I'm not going to call him. I can call him another day. Tell me.
Oh, William, you can't do that. No, that's hard. So who am I going to call back straight away?
Yeah.
Who am I going to send a text message to talk again?
Yeah, to talk.
And who would I be? And who would I be like, I'll call him every time?
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything. Just going to go like, okay, I can call him another time. I know.
Okay. I'm calling Bob Marley back immediately. Bob Marley, I'm calling back immediately. This is hard.
Your face.
It's hard. Okay, wait. Okay. I'm calling back Bob Marley immediately. I'm sending Michael Jackson a text message, and then I'll call Marvin another day.
Oh my God, it's so hard.
That was very hard. You just put my mind through a lot. Like, yo, that was a really good question. I love that.
All right. Next question is, what gives you butterflies?
My ability to express myself creatively.
Wow. I can imagine the feeling, the genuine feeling about that.
I always say it's a feeling like, oh my, it's actually even making me teary. Just think about it. But I always say that it gives me a feeling that another human being cannot give to me. And that's how I know it's a gift. And that's how I know God gave me this gift, not just only to heal myself, but as I'm healing myself, I'm healing other people. That gives me butterflies.
What's the meaning of life for you, Tim?
The meaning of life is the ability to be a student and always being open to learn.
Every day.
Every single day. Being a student and being open to learn.
Wow. Last question. Ready?
Wow. Okay.
I could see you flying away.
Yeah, I know.
Let's do it.
Hey.
Before the next question, I believe that you are part of the LGBTQ plus community, yes?
Mm-hmm.
So tell me how it was for you growing up, being a gay guy. Tell me, did you have the support of your family? Did you have some challenges? How was for you in your surrounding? Did you have some support?
Yeah, I've had support. I also come from a very strict Christian background as well. So obviously there's always a lot of conflict or controversy regarding sexuality and spirituality. However, for me, I'm at a place where I love who I am and I'm realizing that sexuality is actually a description. It's not your identification. And sometimes I feel like we bury we bury our identity in sexuality, right? But I think once you get to the realization that you are a human being, and you breathe and you exist, that means that you're worthy of love and respect. So to answer your question, I have had a very supportive system. Obviously, there has been challenges with my journey, but I'm focused on learning to love myself more each day and affirming that I am not a mistake. And God knew this about me, and I can only be true. And with being true, it sets you free.
Amazing. Last question is, what is the most beautiful thing someone has ever said to you?
two things come to mind. When people tell me that I'm a beautiful soul and that my energy is like medicine.
Wow.
That whenever anybody says that to me, that really means a lot.
And as I mentioned before, it's visible. Somehow it's just talking to you for the first time, you just feel it. Back to our topic before, I think intuition, when sometimes you even don't know the person very well, but just sometimes you just feel it. You know there's something about that. That's how I see it as well. Great.
Wow. Thank you.
It's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Let's start with money.
So just think about the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah. One word.
Dollars.
Okay. Not pounds? I'm joking. Not anymore, yeah? Not anymore.
Dollars and pounds.
Fear.
Crippled.
Family.
Roots.
Life.
Open.
Love.
Open.
Religion.
Grounded.
Sex.
Sacred.
Politics.
Confusing.
Really?
Listen, that is not my ministry. I'm not a if you want to talk to me about politics, I'm the wrong person.
Friendship.
Ordained.
Like that. Desire.
Natural.
Regrets.
Teacher.
Success.
Being the best version of yourself.
Wish.
Dream.
Happiness.
Feeling.
One word for music.
Powerful.
One word for Brooklyn.
Creative.
New York City, one word.
Beautiful.
USA.
Hospital.
One word for Jamaica.
Patriotic.
For the time you spend in London, when you look back, if you could define in one word your experience in here, what that would be?
If I could
define, the time you've been in London, yeah, all the time, your memories. If you could define all your memories in London in one word, what that would be?
Does it have to be one word?
No, you can tell more than one.
Can I say a sentence?
You can in your best British accent.
Okay. All right. Being in London or being in the UK was my training ground for the wings that I have now.
Beautiful. I love that. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And the last one now. Artist, one word.
Vessel.
Amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your lovely mom for a coffee or for a tea. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to ask her, define team in one positive word and one negative word only. What should say?
Okay, for positive, I know she will definitely say that I'm wise. Mm-hmm. She always says that.
Beautiful.
A negative, she will probably tell you that I can have an attitude sometimes. I'm just being honest. I can have an attitude, but
great.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Let's play now Team in the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. But before that, let's play the music one more time. Let's do it.
Okay.
But before you ask me the question, in your TikTok page, there is a phrase there that got my attention. It says there, just don't be eye candy, be soul food. What do you mean by that?
We're living in a society where we are conditioned to fix our outer appearance while our
Mhm.
inner man is dying, right? And the whole point of me saying that is don't just be somebody that's attractive. Don't just be somebody that looks good. Be soul food. Be a person of substance. Be authentic. Be true to yourself. Because once you have that soul food as a foundation, that radiates on the outside. So that's what that means. And I live by that saying every single day.
Okay, Tim, you can ask me a question now.
Tell me about a time when you felt your happiest.
Wow, what a great question. What a great question. Right, Tim, I'm gonna tell you something now. Through my life, I'm originally from Brazil, back in Brazil, and growing up, I lived in Portugal a few years, and I've been living in England most of my life. I always admire people that they do something in their lives that they feel like they meant to do. They meant to be doing what they do. And I've always been, I strongly believe as well, all of us, we can do different things and still be the happiest, feel the happiest. I believe that very well. But in my back of my mind, I was thinking to myself, my God, what I came to this world for? And I was asking that to myself. I can tell you, it sounds cliche, Tim, but I need to be honest to you. Since this idea of the magic box came along, that, since then I feel the happiest. And I can tell you, when I'm sitting here, connected with someone like from any part of the world, I feel the happiest. You know,
I
the
feel, I can feel it through the screen.
yeah, there's an energy here that for me it's so powerful that it's amazing. I could be doing that like 24 hours. When you're talking about your experience that had in this show that you did, I was thinking to myself, my God, I know what he's talking about. I know the feeling. So I think for me the happiest, I'm an early bird. I love waking up very early. Yeah. And when I wake up in the morning, for me, people they call me crazy. They go like, "Oh my God, how is it possible for you to have so much energy in the morning?" As soon as I leave home, I feel the happiest. There's something about it. This the morning for me that's always bring happiness. But I can tell you, you know what I mean. I think for me the highlight or the is a therapy for me here. What I'm doing right now. I can cry easily as well just talking about that because it's such a great moment to be sitting here and be able to connect with so many people around the globe. And I think that's what makes me the happiest. It's something here now, like right now happening that I think it's magic. It's something that if I would see someone doing this, what I'm doing now, I would feel like, my God, I'd love to be doing that. And I'm
Yeah.
here doing it. So that's for me, it's the when I feel the happiest for sure. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. I feel it through the screen. I mean, when you reached out, I was like, okay, all right, let me look into it. And I thought about it. I reflected on it. And I said, you know what? Why not? And honestly, thank you so much for even doing this. Continue to keep up the good work. And I hope it continues to evolve and go further and further and further and builds and builds and builds. This is a
Thank you.
great thing that you're doing because a lot of people you just never know what they're going through, and just by you having this interview with them it can make them get to a form of realization in themselves, or they just
Totally.
may need to talk about something to somebody that they don't know. You just don't know what it's doing for them, but because you have been obedient to do this,
Mhm.
is the magic that you're making. So thank you.
Thank you so much. You have no idea how thankful I am for people to take their time for this because, as you know, we are so busy with our own lives. You know what I mean? Like even more nowadays, like there's so much happening, and when someone take their time for us, it's a big thing because I know how busy we can be. So
Mhm.
thanks again. Thanks for bringing your great energy to the show. Thanks for being
Of
so
course.
open. It's
Thank
but
you.
before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Okay, I will say the very thing or things that you think is wrong with you is actually what's right about you, because that's your power, that's your uniqueness, and that's the magic that you bring to this world. There's nothing wrong with you. Start telling yourself there's nothing wrong with you.
Be you, always.
Always.
Amazing. Regards to your friends, your family, your lovely mom, and keep in touch. Okay, it was a pleasure.
Absolutely, and we're following each other, so I wish you all the best, and I look
You
forward to
too.
how you grow.
Keep in touch. Take care.
All right, take care. Peace.
That's it. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.